welcome to Berkeley Bicycle Club, and to everyone here and to everyone at home. You know, a couple of days ago I was thinking that this show could go on forever and ever and ever because of the amount of creativity and talent in our LGBTQ community and friends and allies. Every time we think that we interviewed a lot of people, we find more amazing and talented people to interview, and every time we interview those, then a new group of amazing and talented people emerges. So it seems like we're gonna just have a lot of more amazing guests to interview. Creativity in all its aspects is such a wonderful thing. Whether your thing is music or writing or performing or dancing, I even say usually that you can be a doctor, a teacher, a sales rep, and you can make it creative, whatever you're working on. So to all of you creative people and wonderful people out there, keep making your mark on the world. We love you. Don't we, guys? We love creative people. Yes? Yeah. Okay. So, what have we got this evening? We got Cat Grant will be chatting with Juno nominee, singer Heather Bambrick. Boyd will be talking to Afi Browne, performer, community worker, and craftivist, which we can't wait to find out what that is. And while Mr. Adi over there will be talking to Josh Lang, filmmaker, on his Youth Corner. Taylor K. Gesner is my guest today, also known as TK. TK is a music and cultural programmer, was involved for years as Pride Toronto's arts and cultural manager, is a DJ, an independent music producer, and an arts advocate, aiming to, through music and cultural representation, empower, entertain, and challenge the culturally rich and diverse communities of the Greater Toronto Area. I worked with TK on some events. I danced at venues where TK was spinning over in the past years, and TK has always been one of my favorite DJs in town. So let's welcome TK and have a fantastic time with him. Yay! Last summer, you were involved with Music in the Park.
Yes.
What is that? What is your role? I hear it won some awards, so tell us all about it.
Okay, well, Music in the Park is an initiative with the Church Wellesley, the Village BIA.
Oh, it is.
So the Business Improvement Area. Yeah, this is their initiative, doing it in partnership with the Toronto Parks.
Okay.
Right. So throughout the summer months. So last year we ran it from the beginning of July all the way until the end of September. That was the second year we
Nice.
had Music in the Park going.
Which park?
Barber Hall Park.
Oh.
So right by the 519, just behind us here now.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And so all summer long we do these great concerts for lunchtime through the week, and then on the weekends they're evening concerts.
Beautiful.
So mostly folk, jazz, more sort of quiet acoustic sort of themes, but certainly we've had lots of different genres.
That's a lot of programming.
Well, last year we had 65 concerts for Music in the Park. This year it's expanding into June a little bit as well, so there'll be even more shows. The award that it won is kind of interesting for a music series. It was a Community Safety Award. So, right, well, it's an interesting thing.
That's actually interesting.
Music in the Park is one of the first ongoing initiatives that have happened in Barber Hall Park, which the city sort of has identified as being a park that maybe needs some TLC, and a great way to do that is to actually have the neighborhood engaging
That's a great idea.
with the park. So, so much better than having a security guard or having more and more and more patrols going through. Have people engaging with the concert, and it's just amazing.
Music with a social consciousness.
Yeah, when we start playing the music, everyone's just sitting down. They're sharing things with one another, and they're just generally having a really good time. It's actually quite lovely to spend
Good work,
summer.
You're also involved with Nuit Rose.
Yes.
For those who don't know what Nuit Rose is, let's tell them a little bit about it and what your role there is.
Well, that's an annual multidisciplinary festival of LGBTQ artists, and it
happens when?
It happens at the end of June. Usually, it's in
around Pride.
in parallel with Pride, right? So this year it'll be happening on the beginning of the final weekend of Pride Month, so it'll be on June 16th. And basically, it's a lot like Nuit Blanche, but sort of a micro size.
So different arts,
Yeah, you can go to lots of different venues, different galleries. You can see a ton of artists. We had I think 60 some odd artists that were presenting for Nuit Rose last year.
There's a lot of creativity in our town just from those two events. You're also, I read last week on Facebook, you were involved in beef dip?
Yeah,
I didn't know you're working with
Beef dip
Steve
Berries,
Witchick.
that's right.
So what do you do there? You went down to
I went
South?
down to DJ. I went down to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Fantastic. There were over 1,000 bears. It was the 15th year for beef dip.
Okay.
So I had a great.
So it's a party for bears and their admirers.
Their admirers and friends. So I don't think they're not checking your bear credentials. Otters can come, so can wolves. It's all good. Like really, if you feel that that's a population that you want to party with, I can't recommend it enough.
Was it fun?
Oh, so fun.
Yeah. Cool. We are going to take a little break and we're going to join Kat Grant with her guest and we will be back with the lovely TK very soon. See ya.
Thanks, Antoine. Hi, everyone. Kat Grant here. Today, my guest is uber talented Heather Bambrick.
Hello.
Singer, songwriter, vocal coach, radio host, you do it all.
Voice actor, waitress, paper girl, whatever.
Comedian. So you're born in Newfoundland.
Yep.
Did you come from a creative family?
Yes and no. I mean, my dad is a wonderful musician. He played the saxophone in a dance band on the weekends. So he kind of is where I got, the musicality. That's where it all came from.
And then you came to Toronto to continue your musical education.
Yeah, I was doing a degree in political science and English, which leads very naturally into being a jazz singer. So I applied to U of T and a few other schools. I liked the idea of coming to U of T because it's kind of a hub for, music and jazz and that. And then I moved here 25 years ago, which is amazing because I'm only 30. It's fascinating.
And who is your musical inspiration?
There have been many. There have been quite a few. As a jazz singer, I would say probably the two that really stuck out more than most, Ella Fitzgerald, just because of her, musicality. She was such a great, almost like a horn player, and Carmen McRae, because Carmen McRae is a storyteller when she sings, and that's what I try to be. So musically, I would say them. But I love so many different, Steely Dan and Sting and Simon and Garfunkel and Average White Band and you name it, kind of anything. Beethoven, Bach, it's all there.
And you are a vocal coach and an inspiration to young people. Who was your inspiration personally for you?
Probably my very first music teacher when I was grade 5, grade 6. I was in grade school, and Karen Oakley was my music teacher. And she did so much to inspire us to light this spark and this love for music that's where it started.
And tell everybody what's next for you.
We have coming up, we're doing the Toronto Jazz Festival. So we just announced a wonderful lineup. Every year we do something called Heather Bambrick and Friends, and we invite guests to join yours truly, along with Russ Little and his band. So Scott Alexander, Tom Sesniak, and Brian Barlow. And this year the guests are incredible. We've got Guido Basso, the wonderful Jackie Richardson, Melissa Stiliano is coming up from New York. She's amazing. And Carol Welsman, who's my former voice teacher at U of T and is an outstanding artist. So she's going to close it all down. So that's June 22nd, 23rd, and then 29th and 30th. And if you go to torontojazz.com, you can get the full lineup there. If you just look for Heather Bambrick and Friends. So it's all there.
And you have many other projects on the go and things coming up. So where can people find out all about your stuff?
What's happening? You can go to heatherbambrick.ca, which is my website. I mean, I'm on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all that, but you can find all of that on my website. So just heatherbambrick.ca. And if you want, I send out a newsletter once a month, and you're more than welcome to sign up for that. I won't bother you. It'll be fun. So yeah, it's all there.
Feel free to bother us.
Thanks, Kat.
Thanks so much for coming today.
My pleasure.
Always a pleasure to chat with you.
So good to see you. Thanks for having me. Thank you.
And welcome back. We are here with TK and we're chatting. And TK, you're a DJ.
Yes.
Let's talk about your love for music. What got you into that? Do you produce as well? Do you have a specific genre that you like to work with?
Mostly I play house and techno for the most part. That's my jam. Yeah, when I'm DJing, that's what I tend to play.
And you produce?
Yeah, I do produce. Now that most of my production though is around soundtrack stuff. So it's not actually that. I mean, I'll do little remixes for my set. It's for shows. I do a lot of music for live shows and for big acts, like big events.
What do you think makes people dance?
That's an excellent question. I've often asked myself that at the beginning of a night, actually.
Yeah, how can I get them on the dance floor?
Actually, what I find really makes people dance is if I'm actually playing something that really speaks to me and that is coming through. I'm the filter, right, for the evening. So as we're...
do your thing and people will...
Me, and I think they really feel that, right?
I think with any creative thing, just do your thing and let people come to you.
Yeah.
We're doing a lot of history this year on the show. Let's reminisce about the old days. Where did you spin? Where did you hang out? Where was your thing?
Yeah. At one point, I had spun in every single lesbian bar that this two-horse town has.
The Row?
All of them. All of them.
Yeah?
All of them. Okay. Multiple versions of tango.
Okay.
Like, all of them.
Multiple versions of tango.
Yeah, but you watch people, they come in, they're all nervous, they come over to the DJ, and they say like, oh, I've just come out, it's my first time at the bar.
Really
so
good
that's
stories.
Really cute. There's a lot of interesting stories like that, but you watch them like come in the first time, you watch them come out of their shell, come out, they'd have their first relationships, they'd have their first heartbreaks,
first time coming out into a club.
Friends, like you're watching everything, you see them actually, have sometimes come to blows.
I'd say coming out, that the DJs on the dance floors are what made me comfortable being at the clubs. If I felt safe in the environment that they were creating. Yeah. So I get that point. Pride. What was your role and how long were you there involved with Pride? You're still involved in some capacity, I heard?
Pride,
yeah. Okay.
No, I'm not a full-time staff member there any longer.
Okay.
I've been there in a full-time capacity, kind of in a few different roles, but always in arts and culture for about 8 years. So that would be from
that's a long time.
Up until about 2006.
Okay.
And that included World Pride. So and I was that was a big thing.
Yeah,
this big festival, World Pride 2014.
I was part of that.
So, I have some brand new gray hairs from
it. It was a lot of work.
It really was.
5 years in planning.
Yes. But it was really good work.
It was worth it.
It was really beautiful work, honestly. I really enjoyed it.
So what are you involved now?
Well, and then, now, of course, I'm still working on Pride, and it's the stuff that I really hold close to my heart. So it's the more community-engaged things. I'm working with the Trans March, the Dyke March, and now the production, that are the presentations in Allen Gardens.
Okay, you're doing that. Okay.
Yeah, I've done that the last couple of years.
Okay.
And last year I was really struck by this great community that was starting to sort of form around the festival in Allen Gardens. I'm really looking forward to kind of nurturing that along.
Okay.
And,
Let's talk about artists and creative people. I love creative folks. I know you do. What makes them so unique and lovable and adorable?
They're artists and they're creative people. I don't know.
It's a very big, it's a hard question.
Like,
I love their, I can't even, I love their sense of wanting to give back to the world, wanting to create. I love people that create things. Yeah, I guess I
like someone that can take a topic or a subject or really anything and just show it to me through a different lens, make me think of it a different way. Artists really open my mind more than lecturers.
Well, speaking of creativity, what can you tell us about your work in 2017 on something called Landmark?
Yeah, Landmark's 2017.
Yeah, what is that?
I was working with a company called Studio of Received Ideas.
Okay.
And so they're a public arts and public realm works project management company. So I got to dust off my project management certificate. And
it was different structures around different things?
Yeah, so Landmark's placed 10 public artworks in national parks across the country. So it was one of the many initiatives that were in place for Canada 150. This one's particularly special to me because it was predominantly Indigenous women and queer artists who were doing this work. So that was all through Partners in Arts, a fantastic organization that produced it. And you'll be able to look at all of those pieces across the country anytime you go.
So this is the one-time thing? It's not going to
the pieces will stay.
Okay.
They're permanent. You can go to the website. So
Landmark 217.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to take a little break and we're going to check in with Boyd Kodak and we will be right back. So stick around, folks.
Welcome back. Boyd Kodak here. I'm delighted to have with me today as my guest, Afi Browne. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Delighted. Afi is a multidisciplinary artist, performer, craftist, and dedicated to social justice and pursuing safer spaces for queer people.
I grew up in the church, and I was, in the choir. I led praise and worship, all those things. So I was thrust into performance from a very young age.
Yeah, so tell us a little more about using the arts in healing.
Mm-hmm. I think the arts are a really great way to bring people together, first of all, to talk about like some really difficult topics, and in ways that that help you to like work through trauma.
Is that what Crafty Queers is?
Yeah, so Crafty Queers is a arts and crafts Skillshare for LGBTQ youth.
That you create.
Yeah, that I created, and it seeks to reduce the social isolation that LGBTQ youth face.
Crafty Queers is yours.
Yeah,
Community
that's
work.
my baby.
That's your community work.
Yeah.
Also, and you've gotten funding now for it, grants, and I believe an award. You did an award.
Yeah. In 2016, we won the LGBTQ Youth Line Award for Arts and Culture Engagement.
So you designed costumes
Yeah,
and made
I made it.
all of them. You designed them and made them.
Well, along with our dear friend Franny, we three of us call ourselves the House of Galore. So actually, on June 19th, this Pride, we're putting on the 7th drag musical, which is really exciting. It's going to be at Buddies and Bad Times Theater on June 19th. Yeah, so it's called I Don't F With You, the goth drag musical. So I mostly perform burlesque. And
we wouldn't mind coming to that.
Yeah, my name is Red Mango, and I guess Red Mango Galore now, because I'm part of the House of Galore.
Okay. So then you're also a jeweler as a...
Yeah, so I do that. I do it as a hobby. I made this necklace.
Can you see that?
Yeah, it's a motherboard microchip.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I use Lego pieces as well, which is really fun.
Yeah. And you call it Afro-futuristic?
Yeah, like especially pieces like this. Like I was definitely inspired by like a lot of like, for lack of a better word, like tribal like jewelry and Lego pieces especially. I pattern them after Maasai jewelry. Maasai is a tribe in Kenya. I'm really inspired by like the vibrancy of their jewelry. Like so colorful, so vibrant. You could just Instagram me, Afi Browne with an E. And if you want me to commission stuff for you, I could totally do that. Yeah.
So did we answer Antoine's question as to what is a craftivist? All of the above.
Yeah. Someone who uses art for social change, someone who uses art for, the betterment of their communities.
Thank you so much for being with us today. Really appreciate it. It was terrific to finally meet you.
I know.
Welcome to On the Couch Youth Corner. My name is Ade Johnson, and I'm here with Joshua Lang, a filmmaker with a psychology and marketing background. He's new to the film industry, and he's currently preparing for the completion of his latest project, Equal, which is the trans wage gap, an equality-focused documentary that will bring attention to discrimination experienced by transgendered individuals in the workforce. Equal, the Trans Wage Gap was one of 12 documentaries selected by Humber College and is set for its debut at the Royal Theatre on May 1st of this year.
That's correct, yeah.
That is exciting.
Yeah, it is. Because we're currently in post-production right now, so there's a lot of kind of figuring out how we're gonna edit this together and get it ready for then. But it's fun. It's been a fun rush. It's been very busy.
You went from marketing and psychology
Yeah.
to filmmaking? Like,
So-
what happened? You just woke up and got a camera and decided, hey, let's just...
I always had an interest in like the arts. I did a lot of acting kind of stuff in high school, and then so I eventually chose a double major in psychology, criminology, switched to just psychology, and then I stuck with that. Always very curious about what kind of, both about myself, because like the inner workings of my own mind, but also about other people and like kind of what made them tick, what kind of goes on in, and what makes us kind of all kind of act the way we do or say the things that we do. I felt like I wanted to do something more applied, so then I thought, oh, maybe the answer is in marketing. You can apply psychology to marketing. They're basically how you're gonna sell product, and
Right.
so I did a post-grad program in marketing, and I ended up working at an ad agency for a bit, then like at the city as a project coordinator. Put myself out there a bit, and I got my first PA gig for a film set. Got more and more of those kind of opportunities, and then eventually I decided maybe it's time to actually go back to school so I can actually learn how to make my own kind of projects and kind of go back to my initial interest, which was in film, because like when I was interested in acting, that was always kind of my end goal desire, kind of to get into that industry. So
Okay.
I realized kind of what I wanted to be doing.
Okay, so behind the camera now is your passion, and that's where you see yourself.
Yeah, like
Not in front of the camera like you are right now, obviously.
I guess my passion is really in creating like concepts. So like kind of that be the writing and production process of being like I've enjoyed producing and directing a lot. So kind of putting together projects that I can kind of express certain ideas that I have, or that I can put my own spin on it and
Okay.
just kind of put out there.
I'm excited to see your production, equality, and I guess everybody else wants to see that. So tell us where we can get tickets for it and how soon tickets go on sale.
On May 1st, which is when it's airing it.
All right, so we're gonna just go to the Royal Theatre and get some tickets to see your film.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for coming
Yeah,
to
thank you
On the
for having
Couch.
me. Yeah.
It's really great talking to you, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
And keep up the good work.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much, and I'm heading back over to Antoine.
All right, everyone, we are back with our guest, TK. TK, as LGBTQ people, we face a number of coming outs. Coming out to oneself, family and friends, coming out to the world, coming out at work, and you had, in addition to that, coming out as trans added to
I
that.
have all the coming outs.
You did it all.
All of them.
Tell us
I've got
about
some
it.
more. Well, the hardest ones are always coming out to yourself, so that's always, right? No matter what you think, it's going to be telling others. I mean, I think that's the
I agree.
toughest, is to admit it to yourself. What's going on, and, then you come out into the world. You can come out as queer. That's super awesome. I just came out and I was like, I'm totally queer. And everyone's like, great. Just, quiet down.
Quiet down.
Just,
We know.
and coming out as a trans person,
Yeah.
well, for my family,
Okay.
that was, I wasn't, well, of course I was nervous, because you get nervous about these things, and even if you're not, then you read a whole bunch of coming out stories online,
Okay.
or over at Glad Day, and then the next thing you know, you're freaked right out, right? So I go and I tell my family, and my
was it?
sister was like, well, everything makes sense now.
Okay.
Is what she said.
So
it
was
was
it
pretty
was it
hilarious.
okay?
Yeah.
All right.
In that regard, so I worked myself up for that. Coming out in community here.
Yes, I was going to say.
Well,
Then
that's
there's
where-
coming out in community. How was that
Oh
experience?
man, that's where
Scary.
it all gets a little crazy. There's
Yeah.
some wild left-hand turns there. It's crazy.
Community. Then we're talking about community. Let's talk about community now. How do you feel our community is doing these days? A little
Well,
loaded question.
A little better than, I think a little better than a few years ago, a couple years ago, only because I think people are starting to actually move these conversations along. So I
Which
think,
conversation? Oh,
well, let's
Race.
Pride in the Police
Yeah.
could be one, and if
Police.
we're talking about Black Lives Matter,
Yeah.
people are starting to get it,
Yeah.
which is, well, they're late to the party, but anyway, welcome to it. Come on in, and get with it. So I'm happy that there's lots of. I see a lot of people who I actually did not expect to have a politic that they were expressing on Facebook and Twitter and Snapchat and Instagram, actually doing it. now. So, and I mean, these are like the social butterfly sorts, right? These are the scenesters, as it were, and these are people with huge followings. And I'm seeing, you're seeing a different flavor of young queer and trans person. I mean, I see more of them. The ones that when we were young, who would really say, like, remember, I had a lot of friends, and I'm sure you did too, who says, I don't want to talk about politics, I'm not interested.
Yeah. Now more people want to be more involved.
People are very interested in it now. Do we still have problems with racism and transphobia? And
yes, we do.
And we need to do this work.
And we can't say we don't.
This is work that has to be done, Antoine. This is work that needs to be done. Racism is freaking real.
Right? Right. Yeah. I mean, we worked very hard to get to where we are, but we need to continue so we can make it into a better place for everybody.
Just have to listen to other people, I think, because, start there.
We are going to switch now to the quick questions to wrap up this show. So, whatever comes to mind first. Favorite season of the year?
Autumn.
Favorite vacation spot?
No, Puerto Vallarta.
Puerto Vallarta. So, song to play on the dance floor?
Well, I can't give you one. There's too many. Music is the answer.
Okay, song to play when you're putting your feet up and chilling.
Oh, well, I like Go 10 Project for that.
Okay, that counts, Most fun big name artist you've ever worked with?
Most fun?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't really get to chit-chat with him or anything. We're working on the Melissa Etheridge concert was really cool.
Favorite cuisine?
Foods that other people make for me.
And last words to the community and to the audience. I'll give you the floor.
Keep on rocking it. There it is.
Yeah, good message. Right? All right. Thank you, TK.
Well, thank you, Antoine.
It's been a pleasure. And everyone at home and everyone here, thank you. Thank you for your time. If you'd like to be part of the audience, find us on Facebook, facebook.com/join us on the couch. We can get you free tickets. And see you soon. Have a great night. Cheers. Yeah.